Cool. Hello, Think Twice Radio, and welcome to an episode of the Buffalo DOGE Show. I'm your host, Open Data Matt, and this is, an audit of the city of Buffalo. We're going to speak today about some FOIL requests I've sent. Talk about, essentially tomorrow's Common Council meeting. We're going to go through some of the important agendas before tomorrow's meeting at 2 p.m. So I'm Open Data Matt. So, and I guess I'm the self-appointed, or I guess I'll call myself the acting commissioner of the Buffalo Department of Government Efficiency. That seems like a pretty good title these days, given that we have lots of acting government officials. We have an acting mayor, an acting police commissioner, an acting finance commissioner. So today I'm also going to take a look into the data miner contract, which is an AI software platform that was approved at a previous Common Council meeting. So let's get started. So this is the official logo of the Buffalo Department of Government Efficiency. It's a sheepdog, and then emboldened by the stars and lightning bolts of the city of Buffalo flag. So let's get started. So I've got a little web page here that outlines some of the important items on tomorrow's Common Council meeting. So this is looking at the January 21st, 2025 council meeting, which is tomorrow, Tuesday. And with today being a national holiday, it's Martin Luther King Day. City Hall was closed today. So tomorrow, usually the way it works is on Monday, the Common Council they call it a caucus meeting. So the Common Council members will get together in this conference room at City Hall, and it's technically open to anyone, but it's often kind of, tucked away in a conference room. They essentially go through the agenda for the Tuesday regular meeting. It's kind of like a dress rehearsal where they just go through all the items, discuss them, and kind of choreograph or coordinate how each item is going to be treated. So whether they're going to forward it to a particular committee, whether they're going to receive and file it, which means they just put it in a drawer and it goes away, and also maybe talk about some of the speakers they may have coming in. So with today being MLK Day, there's no caucus meeting. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. they'll hold their caucus meeting. So this is kind of a Buffalo DOGE caucus meeting for tomorrow's agenda. Yeah, I guess I forgot to edit some of the text, but let's look at item 25-47, which is the acting commissioner of police. So we had this letter from, he calls himself Mayor Chris P. Scanlon, which is kind of a half-truth. He's actually the acting mayor. So he's technically not the mayor because according to the city charter, only the citizens of the city of Buffalo can elect a mayor. So right now with, Mayor Brian Brown stepping aside, he's acting as the mayor technically. And that's kind of part of the broader kind of this item. So this item is essentially, according to the city charter, it's appointing Alfonso Wright as the deputy, or the current deputy commissioner of police, and making him the acting police commissioner. So Alfonso Wright, and last week we had Joseph Gramaglia, who was the commissioner of the Buffalo Police Department. He essentially stepped aside. So he resigned, and there's some kind of discrepancy between the mayor and the acting commissioner of whether that was a willing or whether he was a kind of against his will under threat of termination. But he stepped aside, and we'll have a new acting commissioner. It's kind of it was peculiar timing just because the police department last week had essentially put out a report with Commissioner Gramaglia and the acting mayor letterhead saying, touting how violent crimes were down in the city. So it was kind of this piece where they were releasing data saying the data is good. So it's kind of odd timing. I think essentially so that's what's happening is tomorrow there's a letter to formally name Alfonso Wright as the acting commissioner of police. And I think, so that's kind of right what's happening officially, but I think, I guess I'll provide some of my analysis of what exactly is going on here. So essentially appears to me, essentially appears to me that, I think many others too, that acting Mayor Scanlon, he's kind of, this is a nod or a move to kind of appease the Buffalo Police Union, which is obviously a very strong political base. And there are some posts on the PBA website from the union of the police, or the president of the police union, essentially, just voicing that the rank and file police officers were not happy under Commissioner Gramaglia's leadership. So I believe this is pretty much a kind of shoring up votes before the primary. So kind of, it's concerning because, right, you have the South District council member, who is Chris Scanlon. He was voted by his peers council president, and because the mayor stepped aside, he is now the acting mayor of the city of Buffalo, even though 8 of the 9 council districts had no voice in him even being on the council. So it's kind of this situation in the city where we have an acting mayor who's kind of using the powers of the mayor to potentially be kind of, a preemptive kind of movement before what we expect him to announce an actual campaign or a mayoral campaign. So it's kind of, especially as a resident of not the South District, so I was a resident that had no say in him being on the council. It's kind of concerning that we have an acting mayor that is essentially using his position to start to campaign for mayor. And in this case, it I don't know if it's called a quid pro quo, but it definitely appears to be just a move to kind of get police union support. And they're going to be obviously really an important base in the upcoming primary, because essentially the Democratic primary determines really the mayor's race, because we're a one-party city. There's really no Republicans or even minor party candidates that run. So essentially whoever gets the Democratic nominee will be the de facto mayor in the November election. So we had some recent developments too, where there's at this point, I think multiple candidates that have announced their candidacy for the mayor. So you might have very low turnout because it's a primary in the middle of June. So you're going to have low voter turnout. And then if you have many candidates in the race that are splitting up this already small vote, an endorsement from any of the unions, and specifically the police union, is really big. It could be could be really important in the mayor's election. And I think, that's essentially kind of my thought of why this move was made now. I know there was some rhetoric from the acting mayor that he wants to take the police. It was a differing of visions for the police department, which could be true. But I think Dave Rivera, who is the Niagara council member and chair of the police oversight committee, he said he'd never heard any sort of difference in vision. This is the first time that they've heard of it. So sorry here. Let me get some water. It's that. Yeah, it's that. Ooh. Sorry, let me take a quick break here. Okay, I'm back here, and I apologize. It's that time of the year when, I think, I don't know if I'm sick, but definitely dry. I got some Yeah. So let's see here. I don't know if talking for an hour is going to be an issue. I might have to call the show short, but I'll try my best to continue on here. Sorry for that. So yeah, we have this. So yeah, that's the police commissioner. Let's talk here about the American Rescue Plan. Okay, so we got another big one is essentially the commissioner, or another big kind of development was essentially the city's controller. They came out with an item. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here. I'm gonna have to cut it short. So I don't think I'm physically able to speak for an hour. So I apologize. Till next week.